In the heart of a city shrouded in chaos and deception, a unique kind of hero emerged from the shadows. Not one who relied on brute strength or high-tech gadgets, but one who wielded the most ancient and powerful weapon known to mankind: words. This hero was known as the Iron Poet, a master of lyrical spells who could reshape reality with the beauty and precision of his poetry. Through his verses, he fought against the corruption that had seeped into every corner of the city, using his mastery of language to unveil the truth, dispel lies, and bring criminals to justice. Our tale begins with a man named Julian Wren, a quiet and contemplative soul whose love for poetry and language transcended mere passion. From an early age, Julian had been enchanted by the magic of words, the way they could convey emotion, paint vivid pictures in the mind, and ignite revolutions. Growing up in a city plagued by corruption, where words were often twisted for deceit and manipulation, Julian always dreamed of using his talent to make a difference. His opportunity came in an unexpected way. While exploring a forgotten section of the city's grand library, Julian stumbled upon an ancient book titled Verses of the Arcane. The tome was hidden away, its pages brittle and its language archaic, but Julian sensed something powerful within it. As he opened the book and began to read, he realized that these were not ordinary poems, they were spells. Each verse had the power to alter reality, to control the elements, to bend time, and even to influence the minds of others. At first, Julian was skeptical. How could mere words possess such extraordinary power? But as he spoke one of the verses aloud, a poem titled The Flow of Time, he felt a strange shift in the air. The world around him seemed to slow, the ticking of the clock in the library becoming sluggish, as though time itself had been altered by his voice. It was at that moment Julian understood. The words in this book held real, tangible power, and he had the gift to wield it. As Julian delved deeper into the verses of the Arcane, he began to experiment with its spells. Each poem had a different effect. Some could summon fire or water, others could alter perception, and still others could manipulate the fabric of space and time. Julian knew he had discovered something incredible, but he also understood the danger that came with it. These words, if used recklessly, could cause destruction, but if used wisely, they could change the world for the better. Julian's city was under the control of a powerful criminal organization known as the Black Ledger. The syndicate, led by a ruthless and calculating leader named Damon Crowe, had a stranglehold on the city's institutions: politics, law enforcement, business, and even the media. Crowe and his men used fear and manipulation to maintain control, and anyone who dared to oppose them was swiftly silenced. The people of the city lived in fear, believing that there was no way to escape the Black Ledger's grip. But Julian saw an opportunity. With the power of the verses of the Arcane at his disposal, he knew he could do what others could not. He could fight back, not with guns or violence, but with the truth. He could use his words to expose the lies of the Black Ledger, to strip away their deceptions, and to inspire the people to rise against their oppressors. And so he took on a new identity: the Iron Poet, a hero whose words could change the world. Julian trained himself rigorously, learning to control the power of the ancient verses. Each syllable had to be perfect, each line delivered with precision and intent. He practiced day and night, crafting new poems that could be used in battle, each one designed to counter the various threats posed by the Black Ledger. His first target was one of the organization's key operations, a warehouse that served as a front for arms trafficking. Under the cover of night, the Iron Poet made his move. Standing outside the warehouse, he recited a verse designed to strip away the illusions of darkness and reveal the truth. In shadows deep the light shall rise, the truth unveiled before your eyes. With words I weave, the dark shall flee, and all shall see what's meant to be. As the words left his lips, the shadows around the warehouse seemed to dissolve, revealing the armed criminals inside. Confusion spread through the group as they realized they had been exposed. But the Iron Poet wasn't finished. He followed with another verse, one that would disarm his enemies without a single blow. Winds of truth come swift and clear, disarm the wicked, bring them near. No weapon shall remain in hand, for justice sweeps across this land. The thugs were caught off guard as their weapons were ripped from their hands by an invisible force, the air itself bending to the Iron Poet's will. Helpless and confused, they were left at the mercy of the authorities, who arrived moments later to make the arrests. Word of the mysterious new hero began to spread throughout the city. The success of the Iron Poet did not go unnoticed by the Black Ledger. Damon Crowe, a man who valued control above all else, was enraged by the disruption to his operations. Crowe had built his empire on lies, manipulation and fear, and the idea that someone could challenge him with nothing more than words was both infuriating and terrifying. Crowe began to send his top lieutenants after the Iron Poet, each one more dangerous than the last. One of the most formidable was Selene Ward, known as the Siren. Like Julian, Selene possessed a unique ability. Her voice could hypnotize and control anyone who heard it. She used her power to bend people to her will, making them do her bidding without question. She was a master of manipulation, and Crowe knew she would be the perfect weapon against the Iron Poet. When the Iron Poet and the Siren finally faced each other, it was not a battle of fists or guns, but of words and voices. The Siren's hypnotic song filled the air, attempting to ensnare Julian's mind and bend him to her will, but Julian was prepared. He recited a verse designed to shield his mind from her control. With words of iron I stand alone, your song shall never take my throne. The truth I wield, a shield of flame, your voice is weak, your power tame. The battle that followed was unlike anything the city had ever seen. The Siren's song clashed with the Iron Poet's verses, each trying to overpower the other. The air itself seemed to tremble with the force of their words, as reality bent and shifted around them. But in the end, the Iron Poet's mastery of the verses of the Arcane proved too much for the Siren. Her voice faltered, and she was left powerless before the strength of Julian's words. As the Iron Poet continued to dismantle the Black Ledger's operations, he soon realized that being a hero came with a heavy price. Damon Crowe, enraged by his failures to stop the Iron Poet, began to target those close to Julian. His family, his friends, no one was safe from Crowe's wrath. Julian found himself in a desperate struggle, not just to defeat the Black Ledger, but to protect the people he loved. One of the most emotional moments in the Iron Poet's journey came when Crowe's men kidnapped Julian's younger sister, Isabel. Desperate to save her, Julian found himself racing against time. He scoured the verses of the Arcane, searching for a spell that could help him rescue Isabel without falling into Crowe's trap. But no matter how powerful his words, he couldn't be in two places at once. In the end, it wasn't poetry that saved Isabel. It was the strength of the bonds Julian had formed with others. With the help of his allies, he was able to track down Crowe's men and rescue Isabel, defeating them without a single word. But the experience left him shaken. He had always relied on the power of his words, but now he understood that sometimes even the strongest words needed the support of others to bring about true change. The Iron Poet's story is far from over. As he continues to fight against the forces of corruption and deceit, Julian's powers evolve. He writes new verses, discovering even greater abilities within the verses of the Arcane, each one more powerful than the last. But he never forgets the lessons he's learned, that words, when used wisely, can be the most powerful weapon of all, that truth, when spoken with conviction, can cut through even the darkest lies, and that no hero, no matter how strong, can stand alone. In a world where deception often reigns supreme, the Iron Poet stands as a beacon of hope, a reminder that words, when used with wisdom and courage, can reshape the world for the better. If you enjoyed this story of the Iron Poet and his lyrical mastery, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more epic tales and inspiring content. Stay tuned for more stories. Until next time, remember, the pen is mightier than the sword.